Hey everybody, Scott here for the Digital Guitar Playground. It's Friday, and today, the final request of this first request week. I have a feeling that I'm going to be doing request weeks for the next 4 weeks, just throughout September. So, drop me a line with your request. What would you like me to do? Something with the Pod Go, something with the Helix, something with the HX Stomp. Today it is the HX Stomp, but the request that I had was, and this is because I posted something online about, the way that to get a Pod Go or Helix or an HX Stomp to really sound and feel like an amplifier, you need to power it with an amplifier and then run it through an actual guitar speaker. It's just my thoughts on it because I used the Helix for years with JBL Eon FR speakers. You can't get the feedback you want unless you have insane volumes, insane gain. It just doesn't work that way. Running it into, say, a Seymour Duncan Power Stage 170, more Baby Bomb, Orange Pedal Baby 100, the feel is there with an actual guitar cab, and the feedback is there whenever you want it. Life is so much easier that way. A lot of people don't want to do that, but it's just the way it is. And the request that I had was, how would the HX Stomp sound run into the effects return of the Blue Guitar Amp 1? And then into the actual guitar speaker recorded. I'm going to go one better. I'm going to run that into the amp 1 into the speaker, but also out into the blue box. Add an IR to it. So that's why the Helix is happening over here. I've got the microphone coming in from the ISO cab, the line in coming from the blue box, which is the IR box by Blue Guitar, and then I'm monitoring it through a JBL Eon, but it's also going into my recorder left and right. And I'll play the left and rights, and I've got a couple of sounds that I've set up for this. And one of them is a sound that I'm going to use for recording. Later today, I'm doing a little session, and you're going to get hip to the sound. Shall we? All right, here we are over at the desk with all the stuff. Now, the HX Stomp is going out of the left output into, the left output into the effects return of the Blue Guitar Amp 1. And none of these controls work. The only thing that works is the master, which is the speaker output, or output to the speaker. And we're using, like 2.2. I've got a 40-watt speaker in the ISO cab over there. Sorry, I'm washing the sheets on the bed, so they're not there. And I had to go handheld because I somehow misplaced my little, this tiny little thing that attaches the phone holder to my tripods. I cannot find it. Oh, and it's making me crazy. I tore this room apart. Second time in 2 days. First, trying to find the title to my car, and secondly, this thing. I think there's a ghost here that doesn't want me to leave. I don't know, something's up. Anyway, so this preset, I have modified my brass in pocket preset for the first sound. And let me grab show you what's what. Now there's some no gate using the Interstate Z on this one, and let me find the right control. Quite a bit of drive for me, and I rolled off the presence because I didn't want any sparkly nonsense up on top, and blah blah blah. I'm using my custom IR, of course, and I've rolled the low cut up. And because I want to thin out the bottom end, but not, completely devoid of all bass. There is some pitch shifter happening, not a ton, 20%. Graphic EQ is removing a little bit of bottom end, a little bit of mid-range, that's it. And then a little plate reverb action, not a lot. Over here on the blue box, for this one I was using the Bull 2x12, which is a Vox AC30. And then I rolled up the mic position all the way, and what it gives you is it gives you the most amount of brightness because that's right on the center cone. So the max amount of brightness, and I think it's a good complement to the actual speaker that we're getting, because we're coming out the left output here into the line in of this, and then this is the in from the Blue Guitar Amp 1, and then the through goes to the speaker. So everyone's working, and let's play that sound. And the second sound, the heavy stuff. I am using my rat-ish preset. I made a clone of it, moved it to a different position so that I didn't screw up the one that I am going to mail out to people this weekend. Now, this one's only getting used for the heavy sound. And there's some gate happening. We're using A1, which means just the top path. Not using that, not using that. We are using the RevGen Purple, though. And we've got a lot of drive on it. And low bass, fair amount of master as well, and the usual stuff. Nothing outrageous there. My IR, of course, removing a little bit of bottom end on what I would normally do, but this is for, you know, a recording kind of tone. The EQ is removing a tiny bit of bottom end and some mid-range, and that's it. And then there's a plate reverb on that I believe is bypassed, so you're not going to hear any reverb. So, and then over here on the blue box, I had this one on the Metal V30, which is a Mesa Boogie 4x12 standard V30 cab, and with the mic position all the way bright as on this one as well, because I find it to be a really good, you know, counterpart to the to my ISO cab. And it's, you know, the ISO cab is just more bottom end and more, you know, just oomph, and this one gives the brightness and the tightness. So let's hear that one. There you go, everybody. Oh, you know, running into an actual speaker with a power amp is always better to me. I mean, it might not be convenient for people, but sonically and the way that it feels is the most important thing. And if you haven't done it, then you won't understand it. You won't understand the real feel that you get. Sonically, the sounds are very similar, but the feel is so different. You can take my word for it. Or not. I don't care. I do what I want. Anyway, there's that. I will see you on Monday with something. I have no idea what. I'll have to think about that. Drop me a line with your requests. What would you like? Something for the G system? It's around here somewhere. I have not sold it. I've decided to hang on to it. Something for the Helix, Podgo, Stomp, even the Blue Guitar Amp 1. Even though it's not technically a digital device, just has digital reverb. It's an analog amplifier. Good times. So, I will see you on Monday. And until then, rock on.